just different. He's a different gravy. He's got it all. His pace, his timing. He's like, you usually see a lot of players who are quick and they haven't got a brain. He's got everything.
This is an extract from the weekly audio podcast that we produce, which has a variety of different guests on. And this particular edition, it was a former City winger, Mark Ward, who only spent a relatively short spell at the club, but still it was impactful. He played under Howard Kendall in that era when Peter Reid took over as player manager. So with big thanks and a big shout out to Counting King, who are one of the sponsors that I'm very grateful for and sponsor the audio podcast, Counting King being experts in all financial things, including research and development tax credits, which, so if you've got a big company that can benefit from somebody coming in who's an expert to try and save a lot of money legitimately, perfectly legitimately, then give them a ring. Just look up Counting King. They're based in Salford at Salford Quays, and they will help and also sort out business loans and all sorts of other advice. Just tell them I sent you. And also thanks very much to Eamar Development UK, who of course are currently developing the Pyramid near the M60 in Manchester. So here's Mark Ward telling us his thoughts on Manchester City's title hopes, Erling Haaland and lots more. Hope you enjoy it.
Liverpool have done so well this season, and Arsenal, seen him the other week, and since they've signed Declan Rice, I think they've improved quite a lot, because I've seen Declan play a lot at West Ham because I go to most of their games. Didn't fancy him at first when he first got into the team. Thought he wasn't mobile, but the kid really improved month by month. He's a good player, and I knew City were interested in him, but I don't think he's as good as Rodri. But they've improved so much, Arsenal. So, I think the thing that's happened this season in the Premier League is that the other sides have caught up a little bit, and it's going to be, it's going to be tight. I think it's not going to be plain sailing for City, but I think when you look at the squad, and Pep always seems to have the answers really, and I think they'll go all the way and win the Premier League again.
What do you think the reason is that City's scoring at the moment has dipped a little? Because they've got Haaland back up there, and obviously he was exceptional last season with the goal scoring that he did. But at the moment, dare I suggest, he's slightly struggling to find the back of the net. Is there a reason for that? Because I've had a lot of City fans wondering the very same thing.
Listen, it happens to all centre forwards, doesn't it? Now he's not a robot. He's not a machine. He's a human being, and I've seen some of his chances. Some of his headers recently is usually unbelievable, and he's missed the target. I think with City, when I look at the rest of the squad, there's not many players there that score a lot of goals, and they'd rely on him. So it's so important. If he gets injured, and he's out for a spell, that's where I think they might struggle, because they haven't really got much backup, have they? Really, when I think about it.
I presume when you were playing, you'd have loved to have played with a player like Haaland in the middle, because you were a winger, so your meat and drink was supplying people like that, wasn't it?
I'll be honest with you, it's like I've always said, Big Quinny arrived, and Howard done brilliant to sign him, and I always remember the great Liam Brady. He come back from Italy, and I was at West Ham, and he said, John Lyle, the great manager at West Ham, he said, I told John to sign Quinny. He gets in the team, and then he's not even on the bench the week after, because Arsenal had a good forward line, Charlie Nicholas, and a couple of other good centre forwards. And then when Howard signed him, he worked on his touch, and he was an unbelievable player for City, and he had a great career. And for me to play with a big striker, it was great. And I always remember, I think one of the games was, I used to take the corners on the right hand side, and I think we were 2-1 down. I'd scored a pen to equalise, 2-1 down. Media just took over, and I was sprinting to the corner, the Anfield Road end, and put the ball down. And I just knew it was just clockwork, bang, penalty spot. And I thought, as soon as I hit it, it's like a golf swing. I thought, it's perfect. Big man, just get your head on it. And he just rose above everybody else, and he put it right into the angle, and we drew 2-2. Last kick of the game, really. And it was like beating them, really. They thought they'd won the game, and but to me, playing with Quinny as a tall centre forward, which it was fantastic, a great target man.
How does Haaland then fit in terms of what you've seen, either when you were playing the game or now when you're watching from the sidelines?
He's a beast, isn't he? He's just different. He's a different gravy. He's got it all. His pace, his timing. It's like, you usually see a lot of players who are quick and they haven't got a brain. He's got everything. And obviously his dad was a professional footballer, so he's been coached along all the way. And the good thing about him, there's no two sides to him. He's a nice person, isn't he? Everyone gets on with him. He's not big-headed, and I think he's dead down to earth. He's a player that I'd love to have played with. And listen, he's going to have his little quiet spells, but you know, if you have a pop with him, he's not going to come back and go, well, I'm this, that, the other. He'll just does his talking by putting the ball in the back of the net.
Obviously, you've mentioned Rodri, and clearly you're a fan of his. Is he the key player to you for City? Because when he was absent, we lost a couple of
Yeah,
games, and if you look at his record for 12 or 12 months, every game he played, he didn't lose a single fixture. So is
yeah.
he the key player?
Amazing player. Yeah. When there was all the talk of City uh, going in for Declan, excuse me, and then obviously Arsenal were the favourites, and then I thought to myself, they couldn't play Rice and Rodri together in the because they're similar type of players. And then when you were summing up the two players, to me, Rodri's a better player than Declan Rice is. So it'd be foolish to go to City because he wouldn't be guaranteed. And the way how big the squad is, and like the way Pep rotates and things like that. Kevin De Bruyne is so important to them. And this season and the last couple of seasons, he's been injured a lot, hasn't he? So, but he always seems to come back and he's quality. And I always love little Phil Foden. I think he's a great player. I think he's just going to get better and better.
You could almost look down on Phil Foden. You might have found a player that you're taller than.
Well, I was always the smallest, and it's like this. But my time at City, I loved it, and I think that season, um, when I joined, they were 9 points adrift at the bottom of the league. 9 points was a lot at Christmas, and at the end of the day, I had done a great job, and he got all the lads in that could do the job there and then. And there was a great part of the team, a youthful side of the team, some great youthful players, and he just got some of the, like we say, the scousers, and he knew how to play a bit and mix it up with them.
I'm sure we'll talk a little bit later on a bit more about your career and there'll be other topics that come up. But for now, just let me ask you this. I mean, City won 5 trophies last year, of course. Fantastic season. Do you think they're capable of repeating the treble this season as we stand here now at the end of February?
It's going to be a big ask, but I wouldn't put it past them because the quality that they've got, they're an amazing squad of players, and they proved that last season. And when you've got the likes of Haaland up front, and there's I know Pep was saying in a press conference, don't have a go with him because he'll make you eat your words, really. And you'd be foolish to do that. But to me, if they'd done the treble, that would be an amazing feat. It would be, because on the back of what they did last season. But I wouldn't put it past them. I think they'll definitely win the Premier League, definitely.